Alright, here we are on Ensk Tier 7 game, and I'm on my brand new FV304, and somehow we've got a Bison on our team, and somehow we've got an M2 Medium on our team. Well done in that platooning. Good job, guys. But anyway, we're back here in Arty, so usual Arty spots, yada yada. Don't knock down trees, yada yada. Okay, ELC, shot in the move, so I don't have the range of fire to be able to hit enemy arty, but I fired at the ELC. So as I say, usual arty spots, gonna go for the KV2 here. And no, oh, I just got killed by the grill, hit by the grill, and I just got killed by the M12, so. Alright, not platooned, 2 enemy arty, must have been watching my flaming videos. Folks, and welcome to the Ace Tanker for the FV304, aka Bert, aka Bert the Avenger, although I usually just refer to it as the FV304. And yeah, if you've been watching my videos, I told you guys after the Bishop Ace Tanker that I was probably going to leave it some time before buying this tank, and that I probably wouldn't be bringing any more RT Ace Tankers to the channel anytime soon, but I don't know, I was playing World of Tanks and I fancied something new, even though I've got lots of new tanks in my garage. I had the credits and I had the free XP and I could unlock all the modules by the tank, and I was weak, guys. I was weak. I bought it, I started playing it, and I aced it on the 3rd game. This is the 3rd game in the Bert. So my crew have gone up through the British lines, and because I've been basically going from arty to arty relatively quickly, they haven't had a chance to build up any XP, and as a result, I've got a pretty crappy crew in this, but it doesn't matter because we've aced it. So yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to be bringing you any more RT Ace Tankers, and that's why this is the 3rd video today. You're getting 3 videos, so it's kind of like a bonus video on top of everything else. But yeah, you also saw in the introduction to today's video, I put a lot of RT snapshots where basically I'm able to counter RT, enemy RT, by looking at the usual spots and looking for knockdown trees, but the Bert has a very, very small firing arc, and as a result I can't counter RT in the Bert, unfortunately, and I ended up paying for it, so I fell to follow my own advice. I failed to locate far enough away from the usual arty spots, although it was Ensk and there are very, very limited arty spots, and basically I got owned, not only by 1 arty but by 2 arties, so well played to them. See, nothing ever goes according to plan. You know, I'm not perfect and I basically screwed up, so I thought I'd let you see the screw-ups as well as the victories when I'm playing arty. But anyway, we are here on Prokhorovka. I'm a tier 6, actually tier 6 RT in a tier 7 game, so nice matchup. As I said, 3rd game of the tank, and there's not a lot of history here because the FV304 is a prototype. Only one was ever built. The development started in 1947. They finally built the prototype in 1950, but by that stage World War II was over. You know, and the tank was considered undergunned and completely pointless, so it never made it past prototype stage. The tank was armed with a 25-pounder, just like the Sexton, so completely undergunned, completely underpowered for the time period, so didn't get further than prototype. However, in-game, we don't get a 25-pounder. What we get is a 114mm, and that's basically is that a 5.5-inch gun? I'm not quite sure. One quick check later, and it actually got a 4.5-inch howitzer. So, yeah, alright, my mathematics are not my strong point. So the 4.5-inch howitzer that comes on the tank, it actually only existed on one other tank. It was never mounted on this tank originally. It was actually used on the BT-42, which was a Finnish assault gun, a BT conversion using the 4.5-inch howitzer. So this gun completely historically inaccurate, but thankfully it's not the 25-pounder, because this gun is a lot more suited to the tiers this Bert, or the Avenger, will face. So anyway, the FV300, it's the Fighting Vehicle 300. So I've covered British tanks on the channel before. I went into a lot of detail regarding this, but after World War II, Britain decided to rename or redesignate the way their vehicles, I won't say tanks because it refers to vehicles, their vehicles were named. So basically they designed a chassis, and that chassis could be used for multiple purposes, and the chassis basically got a standard name like the FV200, FV300, FV400. So that's why we get the FV4202, which is a medium tank, but it's the same chassis as a lot of other vehicles. The FV300 was a chassis designed for a light tank by Vickers. So the FV301 was a light tank. The FV304 is a artillery piece, an SPG. The FV310 is an APC, an armored personnel carrier. The 308 is a artillery tractor. The 309 was an ammunition supply carrier. So basically the FV300 was basically a light tank design, but they could change the design around and basically create other fighting vehicles from them. So you had everything from tractors to ambulances to artillery to tanks, based on the chassis and given the FV300 and a number name. So that's where the FV304 comes from. It's the FV300 light tank chassis or design, but turned into an artillery, and it was the fourth version, so FV304. So there we go. That's the history. Not much, only one was ever built. As I say, it's a prototype, and we are going to go because I know a lot of you guys don't like artillery. Some of you guys don't like me rambling on about the history, and I have a crappy crew, as I mentioned, so I've got to move quite forward. I don't have Sixth Sense. I was going to move further back. I'm going to change my mind in a moment, I think, if I remember correctly. This game was played quite recently, so first thing I'm doing is I'm not sitting in the usual arty spot like I was in Ensk, so I don't want to get counter-artied. But I figure this is still pretty close to the usual arty spot, and you can see me checking out, seeing whether or not I can aim. There's no way I'm going to be able to hit the enemy arty, not with a Bert, not with the FV304, but what we can do is we can fire, and he's just moved, he's moved a meter. So once again, very, very, like the Bishop, very, very high gun arc, very, very easy to hit targets behind buildings and stuff, but very, very slow shell velocity. Takes forever for the shell to reach the target. But when it does, boom, we can hit a lightly armored target, set him on fire for 500 damage. So, oh, he gets taken out. So we've got a heavily armored tank here, and because he's moved... oh no, he moved back into the shot, so there we go. We're just going to work here. T67. You can see that the aim circle gets incredibly small. The reload is okay, just like the Bishop is. And, you know, I've only played a handful of games on this tank so far, this artillery, and I'm enjoying it. It's Bishop, but it's got mobility. And this guy's out of my range, so... oh, there's a Tog 2 there as well. But I'm a little bit sad I didn't get to play this tank when it was completely and utterly overpowered. I know some of you guys might say it's still overpowered, but once upon a time, prior to 9.15.1, this tank was half again as small. This tank is twice as big now as it was before 9.15.1. So they made the tank much, much bigger, and by making the tank basically twice the size, even though it's still a small tank, what they've done is they've reduced the camo rating. So this tank used to have the second best camo rating in the game, or this artillery used to have the second best camo rating in the game. Oh, penetrating hit on a Tog. Yes, another 466 damage, hooray. So I've had to move forward in order to get into range here, but we're being capped. One tank in cap, and because even a Tog moves just a couple of meters, the shell velocity is so slow on this tank, I'm not able to hit the Tog, so... I'm wondering, do I go for a blind shot? Waiting for the Tog to be respotted, but no one is spotting him. KB-13. We're still being capped, and we've got pretty much most of our team are sitting on the hill, and no one... no, beautiful shot into the KB-13, but only 100 damage. Tog is back. No one seems interested in stopping the cap. I mean, we've got, what, 8 tanks sitting on the hill, and no one is interested in driving into the cap, and everyone is telling everyone else, even I'm saying in chat, get off the hill and spot cap. I can't shoot into cap if I don't know where the enemy tanks are. I could make a couple of guesses, but we go for a blind shot and we kill the Tog with a blind shot. And in the meantime, the cap has been paused at 69, so I figure, yeah, okay, Capper must be behind this building. That's where they normally are, so I go for a shot. And lo and behold, even though I didn't hit anything, and this tank has no splash damage, the cap is reset. So I've managed to reset the cap. The tank is there. So we fire another one. Yes, we do a little bit more damage, and it was the Panzer SFL-4C who is capping. So a couple of blind shots, a couple of splash damage hits here, and 109. And somehow I leave him on 4 health, but we basically stop the cap. Now there's an IS, and most of our team are still sitting on the hill. So go back to work here, and he moves a couple of meters, but we still managed to get a shot in. So here we go. Get track damage, a little bit of track assistance. So we're up to 1600 damage, a couple of blind shots in there as well. And I'm just moving forward because even though there are lots of tanks left on the enemy team, they're all sitting at the back and they're all out of my range. So have to move forward. You can see me in aim. Need to move forward to see if I can get these guys within my render range or within my firing range. These guys might be there right now. There we go, T-29. So even with a very, very good shot onto his engine deck, there's a chance I won't pen, but we fire before being fully aimed. And there we go. HE doing 0 damage to a T-29. So this is the problem sometimes against heavily armored tanks, although I haven't come across it too often. Oh, and that would have been a nice blind shot, but someone takes him out before my shot lands. So once again, we're advancing, we've started capping, but there are still 6 tanks left on the enemy team, and I don't have 6th sense, so I'm a little bit hesitant. But I want to push forward. I want to try and get a little bit more out of this game. I want to try and get the ace, so moving forward. And I figured maybe the ace would be a little bit more difficult on this tank because I know a lot of players play it well, but on the other hand, I know a lot of players play it. And as Beyond pointed out to me, the more players that like a tank and play a tank, the easier it is to ace that particular tank. So, okay, we go for a blind shot, and we managed to kill the KV-1 with a blind shot, and now the IKV-90B is taking fire. Take a shot, and manage to kill him before someone else nicks the kill. So there we go, we're up to 4 kills, we're up to almost 2k damage. We're over 2k because of a couple of blind shots, but T50, do I go for a blind shot? KV-85 has just appeared. Yeah, okay, finally noticed it, so swing around. Can we get him before anyone else kills him? Quick, quick, quick. No, we miss. We miss, so he's going on the attack against the T-34-100. So, narrow gun arc. The gun arc is okay, but it's kind of narrow. You constantly have to move the hull of your tank to get around, but swinging around, and initially when you aim, you can see that the aim circle is quite big. It does take quite a long time for this tank to aim. But, okay, T-50, do we go for a blind shot? Do we go for a blind shot? We go for a blind shot. And we don't hit because this shell hit the ground. We see the crater, so that's a miss. So pretty standard game. We're continuing to cap, just 1 T-50 left. I go for a blind shot, and unfortunately, just as the tank is respotted, my shot's in the air, so I don't have a chance. He's down to a 1-hit kill by pretty much everyone now, and there he goes. So yeah, I could have sat in cap, I could have picked up a couple of cap points, but happy enough with the game. So there we go, 3rd game in the Bert. We picked up the ace, we picked up high caliber, not bad. It was a tier 6, tier 7 game, so picked it up a lot quicker and a lot sooner than I was expecting. And I'm going to I think I'm going to be keeping this one. I think you'd be crazy not to keep this one. So I think if I get a good crew into this, I'm going to enjoy it much, much more than I currently am. And I am enjoying it quite a lot at the moment, but 1067 XP was enough to pick up the ace. We did 2409 damage, 22 shots fired, only hit 12 and only penned 11. 6 splash damages, so a couple of nice blind shots there. Damaged 8, destroyed 4, did 35 assistance damage, but we managed 69 base defense points, and those were fired with blind shots, so very, very happy with that. Using a premium consumable because my crew sucks, but we still made a profit of about 15,000 credits with a premium account. Wasn't my first game of the day. I just bought the tank. It was the third game in the tank, and I was enjoying it so much I decided to play it for a couple more, and also to try and build up the crew so that the crew could get a little bit better, but managed to pick up the ace even without having a good crew in the tank. So yeah, there we go. Bonus video today. I said there'd be no more RT on the channel, and I guess I lied because I just couldn't help myself, guys. I had the credits, I had the XP to unlock modules, and I was weak. I was weak. What could I say? But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.